sun isn't something one considers when balancing the universe. But this does put a smile on my face.
Hey everybody, big surprise, we got a whole bunch of new Infinity War to break down and Avengers 4. It looks like we have some confirmation about what's going on with Vision's Infinity Stone. So everybody's seen the trailer, but the actor Paul Bettany posted pictures of himself in full makeup finishing on Avengers 4 along with Scarlet Witch. So she just finished her filming on Avengers 4 too. So if you weren't aware, they were filming Avengers Infinity War and Avengers 4 back to back because it's really two different parts of the Thanos Infinity Saga. Even though they're saying that Avengers 4 is going to be very different from Infinity War, largely it's still a Thanos versus the Avengers movie with the Infinity Gauntlet is the big MacGuffin. Like, oh my god, he's gonna wipe out all of reality in Pokemon style, he's gonna have to collect all the Infinity Gems. It's just that all the collecting happens largely during Infinity War, and then a little bit during Avengers 4. Because everybody saw the trailer, and even though they cut trailers to be very misleading, looking over at Thor Ragnarok, where we have this picture of Thanos with just a couple of the gems in the gauntlet, definitely without the mind gem, but maybe, status pending about the time gem, because it's on the thumb is bent backwards. So they're just leaving you to wonder whether or not Thanos has already taken it from Doctor Strange when he's punching Iron Man here. But based on the images that they posted, we have a better picture for how that's going to play out. So if you are finding me for the first time, be sure to subscribe to get everything. There's going to be so much Infinity War and Black Panther stuff dropping in the next couple of weeks, but also Deadpool 2, which is kind of a separate thing, but not separate because of the X-Men Disney deal that's going on right now. The reality of this situation is that he's fighting Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive. It looks like Scarlet Witch, at least, is there to help him, and it comes after whatever sexy time moment they're happening in this hotel. Because remember, this is a really big movie with a lot of characters, so even though they're teasing this special vacation that they're on, we're probably only going to get a few scenes with them doing that stuff, with him going full Pinocchio, making himself look like a real boy, before we get our big attack scene. And it looks like it's happening simultaneously all over the earth. So Spider-Man here in Queens on his way to school sees this ship materialize in the skies over New York, while at the same time Proxima Midnight and Corvus Glaive are going after the Mind Stone. And as for who is in this ship here, this is at least Ebony Maw, because we know from the trailer as well as the comics that he's the person that goes after Doctor Strange, because the only way to take the Time Stone from Doctor Strange is to be able to pierce his mind with your magic, and the very specific powers of each of the Black Order members is just tailored to the Avengers that they're going after. But the whole point here is this is meant to be their first big fight where they get their asses handed to them, barely crawl away, then they rally and have these other two big fights on what looks like the ruins of the Nova Corps along with Wakanda. So even though these movies are ginormous, a lot of what you're seeing is all happening at the same time. So the amount of time that passes between the beginning of the first Infinity War movie and Avengers 4 isn't that great. Even though within the movies they jump around in time a lot, like literally with the time gem along with flashbacks. We've seen those scenes of them behind the scenes wearing their outfits from the first Avengers film, so the actual sequence of events in the timeline of the movie is very misleading. But when they showed up to work on Avengers 4, Paul Bettany was wearing his full practical Vision makeup. He had the Mind Stone still stuck in his forehead, so people are like, wait a minute, what does this mean? One, it means he survives Avengers Infinity War, whatever happens with the Mind Stone, but it also low-key confirms what happens during this Proxima Midnight Corvus Glaive fight, because I think you have Scarlet Witch there, and I think she's really the deciding factor. She's one of the other most powerful Avengers, so even though Falcon here is a total badass, love Anthony Mackie to death, him trying to kick one of the Black Order and take them down is hilarious. You really need someone as powerful as Vision or Scarlet Witch to fight them off, which you have both of. So it looks like this scene here with him just breathing deeply like they just barely fought them off and they're barely alive is him with the mind gem still in his forehead, but they cut it in a misleading way so that there would still be a little bit of mystery. But then you see pictures like this of him wrapping all of his scenes during Avengers 4 and you're like, oh, it's still in his forehead during Avengers 4, so that confirms a couple big plot points. But remember, like I said, the timeline of the movie is very misleading. So just because he ends the movie with the mind gem in his forehead doesn't mean that it's always going to be in his forehead, because Thanos needs to form the Infinity Gauntlet. He needs all 6 gems to do that. It sounds like he'll get the mind gem at some point during Avengers 4. And then there's some rumors from behind the scenes about description of play sets that involve the removal of Vision's mind gem using some special Wakandan technology, but a lot of that's conjecture. A lot of times the toys from the movies don't really tell you what's actually happening during the movie. Star Wars is the best example of that. They will sell a toy for every single creature in the movie, regardless of how much that creature appears in the movie. Like, they hyped Porgs up so much, but there's actually not that much Porgs in The Last Jedi. So when you're theory crafting using some of this behind the scenes stuff, just be careful how deep you go into toy set speculation, because it can all turn out to be nothing. And remember that they're shooting so much footage for all these that will hit the cutting room floor, because even though we're all expecting Infinity War and Avengers 4 to be really long in duration Marvel movies just because they're so big, I actually don't think they're going to be that much longer than movies like Captain America Civil War, which are still well over 2 hours long, but I don't think it's going to be longer than 2.5 hours. People flipped a little bit when they found out Star Wars The Last Jedi was going to be the longest Star Wars movie of all time, and it wound up being 2.5 hours, and people felt like there was a lot that could come out of that. I'm expecting the same treatment with Infinity War. Like, people want a really long movie, but it'll probably wind up being closer to 2 hours and 20 minutes. We'll see about Avengers 4. We'll just have to tailor our expectations based on the future trailers that we get for Infinity War. They'll start dropping in the next month or so. But let me know, what do you think about the idea of Vision just getting pounded during Infinity War and Avengers 4, and then him just repairing himself? Because he's one of the few characters that you can actually do that to. He can upload himself to other things. You can rip his body apart the way you could not do with a human and then put him back together. So it sounds like they're going to have some fun with that during Infinity War in Avengers 4. So he makes out of this alive because Paul Bettany is going to re-sign whatever contract Marvel puts in front of him. He makes way too much money for him to walk away from the Marvel Universe. So almost confirmed, biggest theory here, Vision walks into Marvel Phase 4 doing just fine, regardless of which movies they decide to put him in, because there is a real question about where you put a character like Vision if you're not going to have an Avengers movie within 2 years of Avengers 4. It would be way below his pay grade, as Tony Stark says, but it would be hilarious to see Vision show up as a teacher at Peter's school. Bruce Banner too. I actually really want to see Bruce Banner show up so that they can do some funny Hulk stuff during the next Spider-Man Homecoming movie. But there's a new round of that ticket giveaway. All you have to do to enter is be a subscriber, leave a comment on the video. Congratulations to the winner from my last video, Arthur Rosa. Please private message me so I can get your contact details. There'll be a new round when I post new Marvel later this week. Just leave all your bonus video requests. Everybody still has a billion Fox Marvel questions, but there will be some new Deadpool really soon too. Click here for more of that, and click here to re-watch that Deadpool trailer. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay awesome. I'll see you guys tonight.